Hey guys, Zach with Team Blink, back at you with a new video. Today we're going to do a comparison of all the different types of microlights that you can purchase throughout the rave world. And I'm going to kind of go in order from cheapest to most expensive. So let's start. First, we have the ultra bright microlights. These go by different names depending on where you get them. These from orbitalizer.com are the tiers. These from liquidemotions.com are the drops. They're the same exact thing, different shape as you can see, but otherwise the exact same thing. The only difference really is, besides the shape, is their hole size. The ones from Liquid Emotions are a very flat, small hole. The ones from Orbit Show are a large round hole and are compatible with the Orbit adapter. They feature one mode. It's on and off. Just push the switch down and you are on. Just gives a normal high power effect. Flip the switch off, you are off. If you squeeze it down, you are on again. But once you let go of the squeeze, you are off. To replace the batteries, you will need to unscrew all four of those little screws, which can be a real pain, especially with these lights, because the switch and the bulb have a tendency to move around when you replace the batteries, and that could really mess it up and make it really glitchy when you assemble it all back together. Those are going to run you like from $1 to around maybe $5. They come in only basic colors. They're not a very widely used light. Maybe for beginners. I think they're the first types of lights I ever bought. So they're kind of beginner starter lights, but not that widely used in actual light shows. Next, we have the little upgraded dots microlight. They're essentially the exact same thing as the tiers and drops, except they can handle more bulbs. They also have the switch, so I switch it on. This is a pink, blue, green strobe, not that you can really see it. Also, they have the squeeze on off, and also the 4 batteries that need to be replaced to replace it all. So like I said, the dots, only difference really is the bulbs you're allowed to use. You can use all the IC bulbs in these. They also have a big hole that is compatible with the Orbit adapter. Dots are going to run you around like maybe $5 to $8. They're not that expensive. And also, once again, not widely used in light shows, unless you're a starter at the sport or such. Next, we have the ever impressive Max Light. The Max Lights are pretty new to the scene, and I personally am in love with these. They come with a huge closed diffuser on the top. They're a simple one-click on light. This is once again a pink, blue, green strobe. Click again, it's off. If you want to get to the battery, just pull down the case, you're in, replace the batteries, put it back on, you're good to go. Kind of a rectangle hole, so not really good with anything. Personally, I love these things. I also have open-ended diffusers, and soon they're coming out with clear diffusers, which I hear are really amazing. A really great light. They are a little cheap in the manufacturing, so sometimes when you're giving a show and maybe you like hit it really hard in your hand, it will sometimes maybe turn off. But past that, I really recommend these. These run for maybe $8 to $12. They can handle all the bulbs. They're becoming really popular just because they're cheaper than most other lights and they can handle everything. And they give, like I said, with that diffuser on it, it makes the effect just that much better. Really recommend these. Love the Max Lights. Next, we have the most commonly used microlight in rave shows, and that is the Innova. The Innovas offer 3 different modes. First is a high power mode, so you can see this is green. If you hit it twice, you're in a low power mode. This gives you the dot effect that Innovas are so famous for. If you click it 3 times, you're in strobe mode, and I'll just give you a normal strobe mode. These feature an easy pull off the back, replace the batteries, you're good to go. They can handle all the bulbs. Like I said, these are generally the most used light you're going to see in glove shows. With the Microlight being as big as it is the biggest Microlight. That generally helps a lot of people who have trouble with lights moving while giving shows. These won't do it. And overall, this is the most common light you're going to see in the shows. They run for about $13 to $15, and maybe even down to $5 if you get basic colors like the screen or whatever. So if you can, I recommend going to these because these are the ones you're going to want to eventually upgrade to no matter what. Next, we have the exclusive Drops 2. You'll only find these on liquidemotions.com and candycreations.com. Liquid Emotions actually designed and manufactured the light. There's a version 1 and version 2 of the light. I believe you can only buy the version 2 at this point, but unfortunately I have a version 1 because I bought them when they first came out. This is an amber one. Generally they're famous because they have multiple modes, much more than the Innova. I think 6 to 8 depending on which version you have. But so one hit is just normal on. And from this point on, this is where the version 1 and 2 differ. At this point, a version 2 would go into multiple different kinds of dot modes, giving you the low power effect that Innovas do. But like I said, I have a version 1, mine doesn't have that. So I hit it again, and you see it's still the same thing. I hit it again, it's still the same thing. But usually it would go to a dots mode. Now we're in a strobe mode. You hit it again, we're in a faster strobe mode. Hit it again, we're in a hyper strobe mode. Next, you hit it one more time, you're down dimmer mode. Dimmer mode is when it cycles through all the different types of modes in the light for a few seconds. So one mode goes for a few seconds, the next mode goes for a few seconds, and it just keeps continuing on. As you can see, eventually we'll get to the first strobe mode momentarily. There we go. So the dimmer mode is pretty cool to use if you want to constantly change the effect you're giving in your shows. The Drops 2 are pretty expensive. They're going to run you maybe $13 to $15. Maybe cheaper depending on if you get a solid color. They're not my favorite kind of light, only because I don't need that many modes. But some people like having that many modes. So if that's your thing, go for it. Next, we have the most expensive Microlight. Some of the probably the least commonly used, which are the Photon Freedoms. The photons are generally used in orbit light shows because they work really well for that. Not as much for glove light shows, but we'll still go over them. Hit it once and you're on. It's very bright, probably the brightest Microlight. And the way you get to its other modes is by holding it down. So I'm going to hold down now. As you can see, the light slowly gets brighter, and you just let go wherever you want to. And you now have a dot effect. So I can hold down after like 1 second, and it's going to look different than if I hold it down for 3 seconds. So if you keep holding it down, it's still building power. Okay, we're at its peak, and then it's going to turn off for a second, and then we're going to start going into strobe modes, and they'll just gradually pick up speed. This is actually a hyper strobe mode. You can kind of see that it's going pretty damn fast. It may look solid to you, but believe me, it's going damn fast. These only come in the solid colors. You won't see them in the rivets and strobes and such. And like I said, they're not very much used in love light shows, mainly for orbit light shows, which is what I use them for. They're going to run you around $15. They are pretty expensive for it being a name brand and such. But it's a good light if you're doing orbit light shows. By the way, I didn't mention Drops 2 to get to the batteries. Just pop it off, and same with the photons, just pop off the back. So that basically covers it for all the different type of Microlights. There are more out there. There are the Tripits, the Bullets, the Flash Tips, the Nibblers, 3-mode Microlights. I actually have one of those from back in the day. This is a 3-mode Microlight. And there's a bunch of other different types of Microlights out there. If I didn't cover it in this video, chances are it's not very widely used, or it's no longer in use. Like, the 3-mode Microlights are very hard to find. Most places don't sell them anymore. They are pretty faulty, and people didn't like that, including me. But that basically covers it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I hope this helped you guys out. Peace.